Picture the caveman poster in your gym. Big steak, side of vegetables, caption reading, "Eat like your ancestors." That poster is wrong. Real evidence from bones, teeth, and frozen stomachs tells a very different story. Your ancestors didn't eat one diet. They ate whatever kept them alive, and that changed with every mile and every season. In 1991, 2 hikers found a body melting out of a glacier in the Ötztal Alps. Scientists named him Ötzi. He died around 3300 BCE, and his last meal was still packed inside his stomach. Ibex meat, red deer meat, einkorn wheat, and bracken fern, eaten within hours of his death. That single stomach rewrote what we thought we knew about Copper Age eating. Ötzi wasn't the only surprise. Neanderthals at Spy Cave in Belgium left bone collagen packed with nitrogen isotopes matching top predators like wolves and hyenas. Some Neanderthal groups ate almost nothing but meat. But dental plaque tells another story. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, researchers pulled starch grains off 50,000-year-old Neanderthal teeth, barley, legumes, dates, and root vegetables, some of it showing signs of cooking. 2 groups of the same species, thousands of miles apart, eating almost opposite diets. That pattern repeats everywhere anthropologists look. In the Arctic, Inuit communities survived on seal blubber, whale fat, and raw fish, sometimes going months without a single plant. Their diet ran 70 to 80% fat and protein. Explorer Vilhjalmur Stefansson lived on nothing but meat for a full year in 1928 under medical supervision. Doctors found no signs of scurvy or organ damage. Fat and organ meat carry enough vitamin C to fill the gap plants usually cover. Travel south to Tanzania, and the Hadza people build their entire calendar around honey. Anthropologist Frank Marlowe recorded honey supplying up to 15% of Hadza calories during peak season, pulled straight from wild beehives with smoke and bare hands. Tubers, baobab fruit, and berries fill the rest, with meat arriving in bursts after a successful hunt. Compare that to the Kalahari San, whose diet centers on the mongongo nut, a single tree species supplying roughly half their calories for parts of the year. Insects filled gaps most posters never mention. Locust swarms, termite mounds, and grubs pulled from rotting logs showed up on menus across Africa, Australia, and the Americas. Roughly 2 billion people today still eat insects regularly, a habit stretching back long before farming began. Termites alone can supply more protein per gram than beef. Fat mattered more than any other single nutrient. Cut marks on 2-million-year-old bones at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania show hominins cracking open long bones and skulls, targeting marrow and brain tissue before the meat itself. A human brain burns roughly 20% of the body's daily energy. Fat delivers more than twice the calories per gram of protein or carbohydrate. Lean meat alone, without fat, can cause a condition hunters called rabbit starvation, where the body can't process protein fast enough and starts to fail. Starvation seasons were real, and they weren't rare. Late winter and early spring, after stored food ran out and before new plants grew in, left marks in the skeletal record, growth arrest lines, bands in tooth enamel and bone, mark periods where the body simply stopped growing. Farmers show these lines too, but hunter-gatherer skeletons carry fewer of them and recover faster once food returned. At the extreme edge, some groups turn to eating each other. At Grandolina in Spain's Atapuerca Mountains, archaeologists found 800,000-year-old human bones with cut marks identical to the marks left on deer carcasses from the same layer, sliced at the joints, stripped of muscle, discarded with regular food waste. Researchers argue it may have marked territory as much as hunger, since the group appears to have targeted rival bands rather than only turning to cannibalism during famine. Cooking changed everything more than any single ingredient. Primatologist Richard Wrangham argued that controlled fire let hominins pull far more calories from the same amount of food, since heat breaks down tough plant fibers and unlocks protein raw digestion can't reach. Chimpanzees, our closest relatives, spend nearly half their waking hours chewing raw food. Modern humans on a cooked diet spend under an hour. Then agriculture arrived, roughly 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent, and diets narrowed hard. Skeletal remains from early farming villages in the Near East show shorter average height, more cavities, and thinner bone density compared to the hunter-gatherers who came before them. A diet built around a handful of grains delivered more calories per acre, but fewer vitamins per bite. Populations grew anyway because more food, even lower quality food, food still meant more mouths could be fed. So what did your ancestors actually eat? Whatever their region offered, whatever the season allowed, whatever kept their brain and body running through the next winter. Seal fat in the Arctic, honey and tubers in East Africa, wheat and ibex on a glacier in the Alps, termites in the Kalahari sand. There was no single ancestral plate, no fixed macro split waiting to be copied onto a modern dinner tray. There was only a species built to eat almost anything, and smart enough to figure out what worked wherever it landed.